Hello and welcome to the Workshops for
Hello.
Moms orientation for 2024. Okay, I'm Ren Roberts here, and my other co-host. You want to introduce yourselves? We've got
I'm
Michelle.
Michelle. I'm Michelle de Kaiser.
Tracy Cheney. And we started workshops for moms as a way for women who have messages for women, for moms. They may be in something else, but to carve some great advice for moms. And we have live workshops and parenting panels. And for you speakers, we wanted to take you on an orientation of how to make this all work for you. Ren, I'll turn it over to you because you're a Google expert over here.
Sounds good. Well, we do have a Google document to kind of follow along from behind the scenes. Though what we want to take you through is like the crash course on where it is for you to sign up. So I believe if you haven't done it already, we have a Google form to submit your information. And so that also what we're doing is utilizing it. So if there's any updates that you need throughout the year, like, oh, I want to change my intro when I'm introduced, or, oh, I need to add a new link. So then that way you can keep using a Google form for all your updates, and then we'll get it. And so you'll find that behind the scenes in your document as well. And then let's see, we have, as far as the signups, we'll go through the sheet so you can see exactly specifically where you would want to be signing up. And while I get that on board, Michelle, do you want to share a little bit about kind of what the flow is? Like we have monthly events and there's some other goodies down the road.
One, I'm putting the form in the chat just for you for right now,
Thank you.
just so you have it. It'll be on the forms we sent out later, but just since we're talking about it, I figured I'll put it in the chat. And that's what I was doing. So I was still sidetracked. So the way Workshop for Moms works, at the moment, the things that we have available, we're starting every month right now. We have parenting panel. So it'll be a different topic. And so you're always invited to be part of that panel. And we're doing it the first Sunday of the month right now. Unless there's a holiday involved, then we'll rework it. So the dates are listed, which Ren just brought up right now.
Perfect.
So we have the dates right there in front of you for the parenting panels. And then following the parenting panel, so it's a 2-hour session, I will be leading a women's circle for the group as well. So you're welcome to stay for both. If you just want to be part of the panel and then leave, that's good as well. But so when you're inviting people to these, you can also invite them to one or both sessions, depending on their preference or their needs, wherever they're at and where they're. So we have those kind of as one-offs. I mean, not one-offs, but then we take a 5-minute break in between the two before we start the next. And so they're just a great way to start Sundays, getting the thinking. And again, anyone who comes to the parenting panel as an audience member is very welcome to ask questions and help tailor the conversation that happens during that panel. We will then be going back to offering our live workshops, which we will be starting back up in May. And so we'll be doing a 2-hour block on Thursday mornings once a month. So this is the part where you can practice your, what we call your TED Talk or your presentation in that 18 to 20 minute style format of how you want to do that. You will be allowed to invite people to it, but again, the whole purpose of it more so is that it's a practice, and we're in the process of creating a feedback form for it, so you can ask the people in the audience if you want feedback. If you don't want feedback, that's fine as well. If you just want the practice, it's kind of just that practice zone of getting comfortable with having an audience. And then if you want tips or things from us that are watching, we're more than happy to provide that. But again, it's not, some people want it, some people don't. So we're leaving that open-ended. And so that form is in the process of being created because we just kind of came up with that yesterday.
Like, yes, if people want feedback, they can have it, because we're like, we have lots of feedback because we've sat through a lot of these, though some people might not want feedback. So that's where those come in. And then as you can see here where they work, it's nice for the, like she was saying, to test out a message or to practice. And at the same time, like, we do advertise these. So, like, you might have an audience. The bigger push is also, it's kind of like a bring your own audience. So for all of these things, we work on growing the audience. We put it out as an email blast and on social media. And it's kind of like the more juice you put to it, the better. That's where it's the collaborative co-op form of Workshops for Moms. We're all growing our audience. events, our messages, and all that good stuff. So the more you share or promote, the more you have fun with it too.
And again, all the links are saved. And so you'll have access to the YouTube link that you could use to, if you want
Nice.
clips or things from that, you will be allowed to use those for your own sharing as well.
And you can find that right on the document. You're going to see all the coming 2024s, starting with our panel at the end of the month of January. Everything gets here. So please grab it. We don't mind, like, if you're able to download from YouTube and you want to take our stuff and upload it to your channels, that's great. It shares our message. And then, Michelle, this might be a fun spot. You want to share in something that you know that there's a cool thing that they can be able to do with our recordings as well to benefit them.
So there's a site called Opus Clip, and it's one where it will take your YouTube link and it will actually create shorts for you. So I just had it open right now. I was doing a video. Actually, I won't show the one I was just doing. Let me find a different one. Let's see. Oh, I haven't even looked at these yet. Well, you'll be the first one to look at them with me. What I did was I took one of my podcasts and I ended up, you can get an hour free every month on this program with Little Watermark. So that's why I'm suggesting it. I have not paid for it yet, though I do have an affiliate link for it. But so you can see what it looks like. So what I did was, since I get an hour, I just randomly took a 10-minute clip from one of my podcasts and I just put that clip into Opus and said, what can you do with it? And so I'm just going to show you right now, because actually this one that I'm just sharing you right now, I did that before I left to come here, and I haven't even looked at any of these clips, so I don't even know what they look like. So you guys are going to be with me on this one as soon as I find, I'm just going to share my screen and then find the right and share scout. So let me here we go. So you guys can see right here, this is Opus Clip right here. So basically you go to,
and this is not required. It's just a fun cool thing to show
this
you.
Is just a tip as part of, these are some of the tips that we've come across. So if you go back here to your dashboard, this is where you would go. You drop in a YouTube link right here, or you drop in a media file from your computer, either or, and then you hit get clip, and then it will just upload it for you. So I'm just going down here to the ones I've already done. This is the most recent one. So it will give you a title of the clip. It'll give you what the wording is in there. And it does this automatically from what you submit. And so I'm just going to hit play. I've never actually watched any of these, so I'm trying to make a short one. Here's a 17-minute clip, a 17-second clip. So
I don't have the Webster dictionary definition of it, but that's what I'm thinking of. It's just like just something, a feeling I don't want to feel.
No, I totally agree with that. And I think one of the things to do is when we start to realize that is, that's why it's like, I don't want to just repeat what I've already said.
I don't have the
and so I probably wouldn't use that one because it doesn't to me seem like there's a point to it, but but from a 10-minute clip that I gave them, I got all of these options. And so they give you about a week to edit them if you want to. Otherwise, they're just stored and you can only download as is. So let's just click one more just to give you, I, again, haven't watched it. That's a minute 42, so it's probably too long.
You can even read the transcript to be like, oh, does this one seem like the number one thing? Okay, let's see.
They used to do a rating, and maybe that's just for the paid account, but for the paid, I mean, when I first did it, they'd give you a rating on how they thought it would do. I'm not seeing that anymore. So, but
I told you that's the number one thing. If anything, start with that. What is it I want to give myself permission to say yes to? And just know when you start saying yes to yourself and those things that you want to do, that may mean it's going to mean you're going to start having to say no to some things that no longer serve you. So back to those family traditions, or the way we grew up, or maybe the things we perceive, rather on social media or what another mom.
That's a much better clip.
Yeah, it is, right? It's
they're not serving us. If they were serving us, we wouldn't feel so overwhelmed and stressed.
Okay, you can just.
But I mean, from a 10-minute clip, this is how many choices I've gotten, and all I did was upload that clip. I didn't do anything else. I haven't done anything, but they do give you a few editing options, but not much. But it's just a great way to get started with taking some of your longer content and just to get some stuff out there. Again, done is better than perfect at this point in this game. It's just the practice of it and getting better at it. And so this is just another tool that I've come across I want to share with you. So like you could take your 30-minute talk that you did in that period, throw it in Opus Clip. You would get the clips, and then if you shared those clips with us, then we would upload it to our site, as well. But then that way you could pick which ones worked for you. But that's just another, and it's free, which I love. I mean, you just see the little Opus clip in there, but who cares?
Okay.
But you get 1 hour per month free for, and again, you can make more than one account. It's per account that you make, that you have. So it's just a good thing that I've started using.
So we have a list for, the people that have been here for the last year. We have all of their videos listed, and yours will get listed here too. So why don't you continue taking us through, let's look at the different ways to the speaker sign up we have,
Oh,
and the other documents that will be helpful. One of the things that we asked on your forum, Rebecca, was, and everybody who will be listening to this in the future, on the forum, we asked for a longer intro and a 1-minute intro. So those intros will all be on a list. So if you want to be a moderator, because we also want you to practice, if you are thinking about having a podcast or be moderating some of the parenting panels, because it's a topic that you'd like to share, then we have like all the intros listed on one sheet so that the person who is the moderator can just go pick it up and not have to try and reinvent it or get back in touch with you. So all those things are on there, plus your photo links and all those things that we can use. And this is the form that you filled out, and you can come back to it, as Ren said in the opening, and make any changes that you need to during the year.
So like there's like the 1-sentence intro and then like interview questions. So it's not that we would always require all of it, though it's awesome to be having. And like she says, it's really fun because you can sign up at your own self. Like we want people to want to be moderators. We don't want to always be the moderators, though we're keeping it going, though, we're open to topics, and you'll see that on the sign up sheet. So the more you want to be involved and have fun, like that's the collaborative part. So let's make it magic. How does it work for you?
And part of too, what we've all learned, because we all started this from the group of women that started this from scratch, we didn't know anything. So that's why we've shared what we've learned. So learning to be a wing woman, opening your room, everybody needs to learn all those skills, and everybody's at different levels of that. So when you are doing a workshop and you have somebody doing, the second half hour being a wing woman together, is a fun way to get to know somebody, but also to learn those skills. So when you're out on your own, you can do all of it.
And my suggestion, if you see at the bottom where Ren is right now, it says, send me a copy of my responses. I would keep that copy and put it into a Google document for you, because now this is a lot of the information you're going to need when you apply to other podcasts or other people speaking things. Once you do it once, and we've kind of geared those questions, so these questions are a lot of what will already be asked. And then, I mean, at one point we should do a 1-page speaker workshop together or something, but to get towards that point. But a lot of this is the information that you're going to need. And so if you have in one spot on a good Google document, it's just a matter of copying and pasting so that someone else's form next time. And so it's a good time just to get this, really put that effort in. And then if you want feedback on it, we'd be happy to help with that as well, so that you have it ready for your next step.
Right.
Sorry, I was just going to say, as you say feedback, as you notice right here, another thing, so on your main document, you see our schedule, is that there's speaker support meetings. And so this is a great way to come in. If the timing doesn't work for you, like reach out. It's better that you have support than no support. However, these are what are currently scheduled. And so Michelle has spearheaded that she will commit to being there. I think Tracy's going to be there as well on different things. And then these are where you can have questions, and they always take place the Thursday before each panel. Though if they're questions on the live workshops, and as you'll see in the summer, because of travel plans and stuff, we go less on the panels, and that's why we push more on the live workshops. So it fits with different people's summer schedules and travels. And anyway,
particularly Michelle, who has 3 kids, who
Yes.
likes to travel in the summer. But because everybody's moms or grandmas, we all there are kids involved, and so we're sensitive about that in our situation that we are moms and grandmas and serving moms and grandmas.
So here we go.
Speaking of
part of
those sessions, though, I just giving myself another homework assignment is I will create a Google form for you to submit questions. If you can't make it, at least your question can be recorded And then you
Okay.
can see the response to it, but we can create that Google form that can just keep it consistent in one spot where all the questions will go, that we can open up when we open up the meeting if you can't make it, or even if you're there, if you want to pre-submit questions, just make sure that you don't forget they're answered. Well, I'll give myself that homework assignment to create another Google form so that it's just consistent and a link will be in here.
And it
to
can be
pre-submit
tech
questions.
questions. Yeah, it can be, it doesn't have to be about the panel. It's
Right.
just when there's an open office hours
Yes.
to address those things, basically. And we have spent a year of figuring out where the parent panels work the best. And because of the audience that we're serving, we've kind of settled on Sunday evenings. It seems like there's a time there, everybody's gotten their weekend activities finished. And there's a little time, that's like when I have gone to writing groups and, it's just an opening there on the Sunday evenings. And that's why we're going to be consistent about that for this year, because we found that we had the best turnout then. And we have tried all days of the weeks, all times, even Sunday mornings early to accommodate our friends in England. And so it doesn't accommodate everybody, and we regret that, but we are going with where the moms, where our audience kind of is. So that's why those panels are there. And then the live workshops we found worked well on Thursdays before the weekend. And, there's a lot of stuff in the internet world that happens on Mondays. We all have a whole lot of stuff that happens on Mondays, and that seems logical. So we kind of got past that towards the end of the week, but not before the weekend gets so busy that you can't participate. And also, I don't know if it's showing on here,
This is
the
our
workshops.
Well,
this is
we
on
can look at workshops is fine.
Okay.
So that's further down the road. There you go.
Right. So
These
the
are the-
workshops, we've tried both morning and afternoon. We've in a year and a half, we experimented with, all of this too. And so we're kind of coming up with the middle of the day kind of thing with all the time zones and people who live overseas that are participants, coming up in the 10 o'clock hour Pacific. And so depending where you live, that could, for Michelle, that's noon, and 1 o'clock seems to be kind of the sweet spot for holding midweek, different kind of programs. So,
And there's a few
That's
times that we've done that there's all like we've left some times off purposely. One on the panel, or sorry, on the workshop, and then on the panels, you'll see we've purposely left times off way far in the future in case somebody wants, like, let's shift timing and stuff like that. So anyway, that's why some specific ones don't have times yet. And if you're like, okay, I want to sign up and I need a time, then that's why we have those discussions, and then we can set the time.
yeah, we're flexible. Believe me, it has been it's been a year and a half of figuring this out where things work well.
Cool.
So
And
thanks
then-
for showing this then,
Yep.
coming up.
And then just to clarify, I'm mindful of time. We want to aim to, wrap it up in a few minutes. So this is where with the workshops, we have them into the 30-minute blocks. Though if somebody wants and knows that they want an hour, then you're welcome to sign up for 2 of those 30-minute spots. So that's why they're blocked out. So maybe you want to go in the middle or you want to go towards the end. It doesn't really matter, though. You're welcome to sign up for up to 2 spots. And then we also offer as a privilege, if you want to host your own event, like your own solo event, you want to go as long as you want, kind of a thing, we offer our platform up for our paid speakers. And then what we ask is like just your event. So if you make it so that we can copy paste and we can publish your event on our platform, though it's basically your event, we can give you the Zoom login and whatnot. And though that way you're welcome to leverage us and our network, and then you would just promote it as your own event and then then it would just be our Zoom link. And it also has our little, it's a workshop for mom event and it's a specialty around your specialty, whatever it would want to be.
Yeah, cool. If we're, do you have a question,
yeah.
Rebecca? Okay, so can you do you have it up? I can't see if you've got the Facebook groups, the 2 Facebook groups that we
Oh,
have.
yes, both of those have links right here on both sign-up sheets. So it's the
Okay.
sisterhood group. That's the one that has the moms and speakers. And then the speakers only Facebook group. So you have those. And then also, just as a reminder for you, since this is the where you'll be going to sign up, is also as a paid member, you can use this hashtag resource at the top of a promo post, and we make it an open promo on Mondays. So make sure you get it submitted by Sunday night. And then that way, that's every single Monday. It can be about anything you want. Oh, let me kind of, it got scooted back though. It can be about, free paid discovery calls. We don't care what you want to post. It's just an asset for you every Monday for some free advertising in the group. And then just make sure you put the hashtag resource at the top, so then we know that you are a paid member and it will get approved.
And also we don't want the moms Facebook group to feel like it's just always advertising. So
Yeah.
that's why, and also it gets lost. You have a book release and you post it, which has happened, and it just kind of gets lost in the feed. So we want to identify them, keep them all together so that they're found, and doesn't feel like the moms are just getting promoted to all the time. And
Because it's a resource, and then also it's searchable by hashtag resource. Then somebody could go and see all the different resources that various speakers have offered.
right. So
And I mean, feel
Yeah.
free to also put content in there as well. So if you're
Well, of course, yeah.
if you're just posting something for your own site and then you want to just add to the group as well, the more posts we get, the better. So feel free to just do content anytime
Yes.
throughout the week.
Right, exactly. And when it is you're going to be on a show, on a panel or on a workshop, we really do encourage you to come into the Facebook group to say hi and do videos, and so they get to know you and then want to buy your products. Let's see, on the so I wanted to say something about the Facebook group for speakers only. So we post information in there, as we've learned things or as we've struggled with things. We also know that everybody's kind of in the same boat. And so we do post information in there, like Opus Clip that Michelle just spoke about. That's just brand new, and she's been experimenting with it. And that's how this is people get some information and then share it with the whole group to make us all better at learning the technology and, making successful events. So, a link will come like in the chat, the DM, the group chat, and, send you over there. Okay, we're talking about this. So we've had lots of discussions about Eventbrite and MailChimp, but, all these different little pieces that we're learning. We put that information as we learn it. We put it over in the Facebook group of general interest to everybody.
Yep. And then generally, because we know how the algorithm on Facebook works, that you might or probably wouldn't even see a post in the mastermind group, then that's why we use our chat thread to communicate or share the link to the post. So that way you can keep alerted on the chat thread. And we're having a new one just for 2024 to make it easy. And so the new chat for all speakers who are participating in 2024, it would say like, hey, there's an upcoming, or here's our alert in the mastermind group. So then we'll share a link to that in there. So that way you can keep up. And personally, I keep those chat threads on mute. Otherwise I would go nuts. And then I can just check in when I need to and check and catch up.
All this technology that we've learned.
Perfect.
So
okay,
we're
wrap it up quickly and buzz over. It's pretty self-explanatory, hopefully, on this page. And you can see that there's tabs. So the panel sign up is one tab. And then if you click down, then we have the workshop signups, another tab, this actual schedule, and maybe I'll put the schedule first. So, and then you basically come down. Whoops, I didn't mean to click on schedule. I was just dragging it. There we go. Okay. So for the panel signups, what you'll see is as it comes down here, here is the topics. And so with the dates and everything's just in Pacific times. And then we also have the ideas. So you're welcome to say, this is what you want to be talking about, though it just gives ideas of what we're thinking about. We're not stuck on anything. This is the collaborative part. And then just kind of as we're brainstorming the next few months, and then as you can see, they're very open. So please, what are the topics that we're thinking? As you get involved, like, what's your niche? Come up with what that looks like. It's fine. It's just the idea is what would be valuable and also enticing for other moms to want to, what's the topic? So that's a little bit of like, we're finding that the entrepreneurs to people lean in a little more. And then also Michelle's been testing out like people wanting their kids to be entrepreneurs seems to be an really hot little sub niche. So that's why we decided, well, let's test it out. And also from last year, and you can see some of these were open to timing. So some of them we've set timing. The handling school conflicts was our biggest event popularity last year. So that we're already planning to talk about in September. And so anyway, that's where some topics are. Please sign up. And then also this is where the moderator spot is always open. So like if you know you want to be the leader to talk about school conflicts, awesome. Well, then that's where you would sign up. And then the panelists are any of the others. And so there's room for up to 10 people, and they're not in order of like priority, like panelist 1 will be featured more. It's just there's 10 open, up to 10 spots available.
And let's see, something just crossed my mind. Oh, go back a little bit to under where it says parenting panel, and then there's these words, and you're wondering what is that? Merged graphic,
Oh,
panel only graphic.
link.
So right, so these will be the links for you to advertise to your own groups and your own networks. Sometimes people want to come just to the panel. Sometimes they want to come just to the women's group, and which is fine. So we have the links for the advertising. Merged means it's both of them together are on the same little banner. Otherwise, you can pick up the individual links. And then we create for the Facebook group, and we also have the promo. The whole thing is we're not paying for advertising, that these are within our networks, that everybody, as they're stepping out into their own events and creating their own audiences, we just keep building these expanding networks, and we advertise to each other's to give social proof, but also to get the word out without getting into all the spending on ads. So it's basically a grassroots movement that we're growing.
Yeah. And also as a behind the scene admin part, Michelle she bought a software so we could have unlimited leads. She's using it for her own business, and been testing it. So now we're migrating the workshops for mom as kind of a sub account in hers, so we can have unlimited contacts. And so then that way we can really just be growing every lead instead of being more picky when we're paying for contacts. So that's something that we're doing a migration. It takes a bit, though. We're getting all of our stuff from the previous years and putting it into the new software. So that's a exciting thing. And then that way we can really be promoting it, and it doesn't, like, we will take all the thousands and thousands of email addresses that get shared. Okay,
No.
anything else before we wrap up? I want to be mindful of timing. Do you also have any questions for us, Rebecca?
Well, because I'm brand new to this, I probably could listen to a recording if you wanted for me to just see how you work the panelists. Is that the moderator is really the one that is prompting questions to each
Yes.
of the panelists? Okay.
Yes, and the moderator, yes, keeps it moving between the panelists. And also the moderator sends out the info. So we'll send out ahead of the panel. So all the panelists get everybody who's participating with their intros. So you kind of get to know each other a little bit. And of course, some of us have been around now for a while, so we kind of know each other. And you get that information out, the emails. So if you if you want to be a
clarify, that
moderator.
is not the moderator's responsibility. That's a Workshops for Moms admin. The moderator reads the bios that have
Well,
been.
they're there.
You're
Okay.
just the reader. You're just the face head for that event, basically. So you don't have to be, you're not emailing out or putting it together. But also, if it's about your topic, then we would want to know, what do you want us to say about your topic? So, like,
So I'm
that would
saying,
be the
yeah,
caveat.
you need, pardon me, that you need to shape that so we know where it's going to send out the information to the panelists. We do let the panelists know ahead, you know, what it's not just the topic, but some of the questions that could be asked, not necessarily always would be, but, you know, in shaping the show, so everybody can be thinking ahead and have their, you know, their pithy remarks prepared, or a point that they really want to be able to make. So we do give that out in advance so that, you know, there's been thought given to this ahead of time.
Well, we know that some people work differently. Some people work off the cuff. Some people want a little bit more planning. So we try to just facilitate that, but it's not that you necessarily have to come pre-planned or prepared, but the moderator should come up with a couple possible questions that may be asked just to get the panelists thinking. And then it may, of course, it's a conversation. So questions some of them may never be asked, but it is a moderator's job to keep the flow going and ask the next questions. And sometimes when people don't jump in, it's to maybe calling people in a certain order and vary it a little bit. And depending on how many panelists there are, sometimes people can get a little long-winded. Their job is to cut them off a little bit nicely.
Good practice on skills. And I'm just thinking, look at this. This is why I love spreadsheets. Let's just make it so the questions for the panel would be right under the panel so they can start to come up with this.
Okay.
And speaking
Yeah,
of
and
questions,
so is the moderator
Oh.
is coming up with the questions? Is that it?
Most likely if it's your topic. Like, for example, as we're talking about Michelle, and I'm like, oh, Michelle, do you want to be the moderator as we're talking about child entrepreneurs? Because that's sort of in your realm of things. So then, yeah, she would probably be coming up with it. I mean, that's where, honestly, Tracy, my mom, has been doing a lot of the coming up with the questions part, though it's not because that's what she wants to do as her job. Like, it's just, we're having the panels
She's
and
been
people
doing
are
it.
happy to show up. They just haven't come up. A lot of other people have not been moderating. That's the only thing. So Rebecca,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah.
You're the moderator.
Well, or the panelists may have actual questions,
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
input
sure.
on the questions.
Oh, that's a
Right.
good idea too.
Right, right. And that's how the conversation can go too. So it's handling a group, and that's part of the skill of it. And sometimes when I know it's somebody their favorite topic, then I'll have a discussion so that I can kind of figure out where it's going to go, because I need to send something out to everybody a day or two in advance of of the panel happening.
Okay. And in contrast, the live workshops are more like a presentation
Yes.
where you
And-
would even share your link for the call to action.
Yep.
Okay.
And
yeah,
sharing
it's definitely more like a master class, like a mini master class. Or if you want to do a full master class, you can do the 2 blocks. So it's basically in terms of a master class.
And that
Okay.
can be with your slides. I mean, we do, if you go back and look at what everybody's been building and working on, not everybody has slides, but there are plenty of people that have slides. So part of this is to practice. Do my slides make sense? Did I get everything in within the amount of time? Sometimes, like when I try a new topic and I run way over time, it's like, oh my gosh, okay, so
Ever,
this is an
Tracy.
editing. So it is a practice. It's an incubator kind of situation of practicing that message before you go out to be on podcast or before you go out to do your master class, that within this, you've practiced it and know you can do it.
Okay. And I think this is my last question for as far as moms. Is this broad moms or grandmas? Because you said in the beginning, or is it you're not necessarily honing into grammar school or homeschool or empty nest? Those are all topics.
Those
Am
are
I
topics.
catching that properly? Okay.
Something of interest to moms. And we do we have a lot of focus on babies and toddlers because we have people, that's where their expertise is, but we have people who deal with high school kids. So it's, it runs the whole gamut of motherhood. And that
grandmahood.
continues, and yeah, it continues as grandmas, in talking about those kind of issues, how you deal with adult kids and their children and where you fit in as grandparents. So it
Oh,
runs
yeah.
the gamut of motherhood.
And that's
Okay,
why
perfect.
our whole purpose is just to support moms in that vision of however they want to express themselves to their kids and to do it fully so that they're living their full potential life. And so anything that comes in that realm, that's why we're always open to new speakers, new ideas. That's where this is the incubator. It's to get those. We just want to support moms completely and use that aspect to also then support speaker moms, everyone who just wants to help. I feel like for me personally, it's like moms are the basis to all this change. They're the ones influencing the next generations. And so if they're the happy, healthy adults that can be the great role models, we're now inspiring the next generation. And that's
Right.
kind of how this all emerged and the whole point of it.
And we
Right,
have
which
talked
would bring
about,
us, I'm sorry,
Oh.
pardon me, which would bring us back to, even if the topic is about strengthening mom as a human being so that she
yeah.
can go forward with the entire journey. Yeah.
That's
We
kind
did
of
a
And
a
then
whole
my
show on
January
understanding,
self-care.
topic.
Yeah.
You're
Yep.
speaking my language.
Yeah. Well, and Michelle is very much about supporting moms and connecting moms. She
Which is
has
the whole women's circle.
right. That the whole thing is about connection and not feeling isolated. But we've done a show on just self-care. The one that's coming up in January, mom bodies and self-image. So yes, our children have influenced that, but that is a focus on moms and how to, deal with that in the month of where everybody's pushing on body image and getting to the gym and all those New Year's resolutions. We wanted to take a different tack and be supportive of moms and where we are. So that's why I say we take what's going on and then have a twist on it. So our back to school had a lot to do with school conflict. And as Ren said, that was a very popular, we had the most Eventbrite signups on that one because you're dealing with it in so many different layers. So it wasn't just your child either being happy or not happy going back to school, but your relationship with the teacher, administration, your child's relationship with the teacher that they don't like. I mean, it can go so many different directions. So
Peer
that's what
yeah,
we're
pressure.
looking
other
for. Yeah,
students. Yeah.
right. So that's what we're
Right.
looking for because moms deal with, it seems like, unending crisis and decision making, so much of it, and you're kind of not aware of it. So it's just to be supportive. Totally. We're
Well,
uh,
finding
former
resources on
teachers.
what
Yeah,
to
we're
do.
former teachers who want to still have contact with parents and kids. We're just not in the classrooms right now. So there's coaches that we have, people who've been social workers. It's just a wide range of people who still want to engage with that community that we really love.
Okay. And then the office hours is more amongst the speakers to be able to discuss topics or questions or.
Tech.
Well, and also individual help. So if you need help with or you get a question about your presentation or anything like that, or you want, and of course, yeah, if you want to provide topics. And speaking of that, I actually did my homework while we were talking, and that form in there is just a spot with 3 possible things to ask questions ahead of time. So to make sure they get answered. So Ren can put that into the document as well. It's just
As
very
I'm
simple.
using it now.
Very simple,
And-
just a spot, it's just 3 spots, but that way it puts it all into one spot. We can have a Google sheet for each office hours in there and keep them current with whatever questions we were having. That way we can also put tags on the replays. People know what's being answered.
Right. So
And the worksheets, the Google Sheets that you were sharing are going to be posted in the speaker group.
Oh, yes, and I'll get it for you right now too. Just so you have it.
she's
Boom.
been busy.
So which one?
Oh, I'm
Oh.
making sure she has access to that
Oh,
document
the
we've been
spreadsheet.
sharing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. So all the links should be on that spreadsheet.
Thank you.
So it sounds busy. From going from 0 to here, it's amazing.
You gals have done a lot of work. I can see that. Yes. It looks
And then
really
a fun
good and
caveat,
thorough.
not to put it on Michelle, though she also launched her podcast the past year. And what's been exciting is when there's things of workshops for moms that would make sense to also share on her podcast. She's been very nice. And then that's like the certain topics that are coming up when they make sense to be on hers, like our January panel is going to be on Michelle's podcast. Like, so it's just really exciting on those things. So
And
there's
since this is being recorded, this last thing I'm going to say is, but I'm throwing this out as my 2024, but throwing this out to Workshop for Moms as well, is my goal is to create a membership / app for moms that has a proactive and a reactive side. So the proactive side would be these 15-minute increments. So for the speakers in here who have tidbits, it'd be like a 1 to 5 minute video of just one thing the mom can do, and then 10 minutes of implementation. So they're completing these things with journaling and stuff inside the app. And so I want to create all the speakers that we've been gathering in here to have pieces in this app, and then be membership for that. I mean, that would be mine, but then my goal would be, this is only a Band-Aid. If they resonate with you, then my guess would be we put links for them to show your main programs and stuff. This is just curating all the starting points. But once we get moms into the personal journey development, my goal is that they would go further. But then there'll also be a reactive side for when the kids are angry with them, and they can have some breathing techniques. They're 1 minute. They can have some meditations, just quick ones, just to get into their body again before dealing with the kids. So that's my vision for 2024. And so I'm going to be putting that into Workshop for Moms to help bring everyone into it, to create it and really push all out there so that we can bring more moms into this personal development journey.
And of course, there's always the group that wants to have a book. That wants to have a group
yeah, that's
book.
with it too.
We
Yes.
keep thinking about it. We just haven't gotten that far. But yes, we have a crowd that would really like to have all the speakers
Anthologies.
contribute to an anthology. So
And Michelle's extremely good at making it a bestseller. So she's a multiple best-selling author. So that's the fun part, is we know
In
that
anthologies.
so we also know that when we put that project together down the road, it'll be a bestseller because Michelle knows how to do that. Putting pressure, and it's like, yes,
Thanks,
she can
Ren.
do that. So woohoo, yay.
okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and for everyone, as you watch this video on getting yourself around the sites, we will be sending out, DMs from time to time, and we put the links to these different things. So if you can't remember how you got there, we always will link to all of it. And we just really look forward to working with you and hearing your fantastic insights and expertise for moms on a variety of topics. We learn so much too, because we're all in the same boat. So thank you for being a part of that and educating us.
Yay. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
See you on a panel or on a workshop.
Or in an app or a book. We'll see.
And always
Okay.
as a participant, like you don't actually like just even
Right.
sharing. Oh, I'm not able to be on, though. I'll share what Workshops for Mom is up to, or invite some moms into the Facebook group. So that's where we all
Yes,
meet.
that's true. Yep. Because it's homegrown. Everything about it is homegrown.
Very cool. Awesome.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.